Hey everybody, welcome to Active Self-Protection Extra. I'm Brian Hill with The Complete Combatant, and this is your Mantis Dry Fire Monday. Hope you've been practicing, hope you're improving. This is something I wanted to put in front of people because I think it's not well understood. I don't think people understand how much time is being wasted in this, and it's something that we all could practice.
Ammo is crazy expensive and hard to find, and dry fire is life. I use the Mantis X10 to keep my handgun skills strong, and it makes dry practice fun and challenging. Check it out at the link below.
Not everybody has access to a beautiful outdoor range like I do, so you could put 3 targets on one piece of paper to do this drill too, so don't feel like you're being left out if you're at an indoor range. What we're going to talk about is the time it takes to move from one target to the next. So several things I think are important for the armed citizen. Number one, you have to have a very good draw. You have to be able to make first rounds hits, and then you should be able to engage multiple targets. Outside of that, things for the armed citizen may or may not be as important, but I think those 3 are really, really important. So I have covered before a bill drill, which is draw and fire 6. This one is called a Blake drill, which is draw and fire 2 on each of the 3 targets. So it's still a bill drill, but it's on 3 different targets. And what we start to see is how the transitions affect our overall timing. I know as a guy who comes from an accuracy and precision and a tactical background, I'm very guilty of some of these mistakes. So I'm being a bit hypocritical here, so bear with me as always. I think I got a pretty good camera angle for you guys to see it. It's not so much the shooting we got to see, it's what the timer tells us on this one. That's what's going to be really important, and see if we can really improve it. Recently I attended AJ Zito and Tim Herron's Train for Mastery class, and we worked on this a lot, and it was fantastic the way they break it down. And I think in the competitive arena, they have a huge advantage on this because they're constantly engaging multiple targets. So there's a lot to be learned from the competitor for the armed citizen. And I think this is one of those drills that'll really help you guys. All right, let's get to work here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot it as if I normally would. As a tactical guy, I'm going to shoot and then let it rise, and then shoot another one, let it rise, and then move to the next one, let it rise, let it fall. J.J. Ricaza calls this the heartbeat methodology: up, down, next position, up, down, next position. A lot of times it was said we need to get 3 sight pictures. I don't often preach sight pictures, I preach sight movies, as Gabe White calls them, because that's the brilliant way to look at it. We want thousands of images flowing through our mind instead of just one. So what I'm going to do is, we'll talk about how to make this faster, but I'm going to shoot it in the old style where I kind of use that heartbeat methodology. Let's see how this works out for us. Okay, so great, we did some good shooting there. All alphas, very well done, everything's fine. I left the draw out because we're gonna leave the draw out for this. We can work on that separately or as a group later on, but we're gonna look at the transitions today. So let's see what the timer tells us. All right, since I was on delay, what it tells me is my first shot came at 0.28, which is reaction time, that's fine. And then the next shot was a 76, so it was reaction time, lift, fall, hold strong, 3/4 of a second before I fired another shot, okay? After that, it went to a 69, so it took me almost as much time to move to the next target and shoot the next one, and then it was a 46. Came back down, then it was a 70 to move to the next target, and then it was a 46. So let's go through those numbers again. 28 to react, so that's a little different because I'm already aimed in, all right? Then a 76 to fire the next shot, okay? The transition was a 70 also, and then a 40, and then next one was a 70, and then a 46. So they're the same all the way across. Very good as far as precision and accuracy, but also very slow because the overall time it took me to fire 6 shots was a 3:07. Now, if I'm just holding on a target and I'm already aimed in and I had to fire 6 shots, for me, that's about a 1-2. All right, so somewhere I've gained 2.9 seconds overall. That's a lot of time. So what's happening here is I'm spending a lot of time dwelling on a target. And I love that word, to dwell, because oftentimes we're just sitting there looking at our handiwork. Brian Enos often said that you should call your shot in advance. I think this is one of the primary skills, because if you had to shoot on a target like me and I have black shirts on, you're not going to see anything. You're not going to get any feedback. So the only thing that can feed back is calling your shot. And that's what we're working on. So if I've called a good shot, I simply can move to the next target. Now, what I should see is pretty steady transitions all the way across. I'd like to see 0.3s or 0.25s all the way across. So it'd be 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. And what I have to do that is to let go more. All right, let go of that very hard, I'm going to hold and move and hold and move and hold and move. And I'm just going to let the gun flow from one target to the next. Now, when you start doing this, you're going to see your accuracy go down, because this is an efficiency drill. Don't combine speed and accuracy at the same time. Want to get efficient with it. Then before I leave the range, I'll shoot it in an accurate mode and see what that looks like. All right, so this time I'm going to move from one target to the next. So what it'll look like is I'll shoot the first shot. As soon as it comes back down, I'll shoot it and move to the next target, shoot it, move to the next target, shoot it, and finish the shot. So I should have 6 shots, and we'll see what kind of reduction in time there is on that. It should be significant. Okay, so now we got some real difference in the time. I know somebody will say something if I don't show you the timer. So we went from a 307 to 178, all right? So a little quicker, 1/100th of a second on the first split. But the second split, instead of a 75, was a 29. The transition was a 39, all right? The next split was a 26. The next transition was a 36. Last one was a 21. Now, if I can get all those smoothed out, I can get it down to a 1.5. Now, accuracy's gone down a little bit. I had almost all alphas, and then I had 1, 2, 3 Charlies, or maybe a near alpha on that. So still in the target. It's not as accurate as it was, but I'm working on that efficiency. So let's see if I can push the time just a tiny bit more, maybe just a bit more, and see if I can get a smooth flow across that. Remember, you're in efficiency training, so don't hold yourself to a high accuracy standard right now. So pushed it a little bit, not a huge difference, a tenth. It's a 166 on this. So first shot reaction is a quarter, all right? Normal for me. The next split is a 22. Now let's see what the transition looks like. It's a 38, and then a 20, and then a 40, and then a 21. So if I could smooth all those out, it'd be pretty good. And the funny thing is, I only shot 1 Charlie on that one, because I'm really watching the red dot. And iron sight shooters, you're going to follow the front sight the same way. I don't want to not include you, but this is far simpler with a dot than anything else, because it becomes a streak. And I'm prepping the trigger as I come into the target, firing the shot, it lifts, and then moving on as soon as I call it. All right, so this is a great drill for you to start smoothing it out, learning where it is, getting a confirmation on that. So if I added a draw to this and say I have a 1 second draw or a 0.9 draw, we're at a 2.5, which is a pretty good for a Blake drill. If my bill drill is 2, I'd expect a little bit on the transitions. I have 2 transitions on there. For me, they add about 0.2. So that's where the time comes from, 2.4. And we see that this methodology starts holding us accountable to seeing more, because this is a vision test. This is about seeing and doing and being able to do that. Now, if I don't show you the targets, somebody's gonna gripe. So let's get on the targets, see what they look like. And as you guys can see, this one's starting to really tell me something right here. Boy, that sun's bad. Let's put you over here. There we go. All right, this one's starting to tell us something right here. I was late. I'm starting to drive right past the target, so I need to prep sooner and break the shot as soon as I enter here, and then they'll go in that. So I'm learning something. The timer's teaching me something. It's fantastic that way. It's a good way to go, and that's your Blake drill. So I hope you guys will work on that a little bit. There's no other way to do this than in live fire. You can practice in dry fire, but the times are wildly erratic sometimes compared to your live fire. And you don't have to shoot a bunch of rounds. I know it's 6 rounds at a time, so in total I've shot 18 rounds. But I really changed a couple things, all right? I measured them, I refined them, and then I performed, all right? I'm getting a good feel. And then I can simply practice that, visualize it, come back out, see if I can get a little push on it. What I'd like to see is 0.25s all the way across if I could. That would be fantastic, so that's what I'm working towards. And I hope you guys will work towards the same thing too. Guys, I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the drill. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. Leave a comment. You guys leave great comments. I love interacting with you. Thank you so much. Big thank you to John Correa. We're really getting this video worked out. I hope my skills are getting better. I'm really working on it. I'm a coach. Not in this, so I'm learning as I go along, trying to improve the product for you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. As always, get on your Mantis, okay? What can we do on Mantis? We can work on just practicing having a good trigger prep, So the compressed surprise trigger break would be a good place to start on that. And you could actually move the gun as you prep the trigger to a new target. I think that would be a good way for you to practice, get the most out of your Mantis. Okay? It may affect your score, but don't worry about the score so much. Worry about what's really going on in your shooting. And what we're always trying to improve is our vision. All right, Brian Hill with The Complete Combatant. And as always, measure, refine, and perform.